Hello dear students, I hope you all are fine and studying well. So welcome to the geography session of chapter 2nd, Land, Soil, Water, Natural Vegetation and Wild Resources. Today we will discuss different aspects of these things. First, let's learn about land. Earth's surface is very uneven. Uneven meaning somewhere it's deep valley, somewhere it's high mountains. That's why Earth has 70% water in form of ocean, lakes, rivers, etc. So 30% of the area on the earth is land. All parts of the land are not habitable. Habitable is a new term. It comes from the term habitant. Habitant means a place where living organisms live. For example, polar bear stays in Arctic. So, Arctic region is the habitant of the polar bear. So, not habitable means that place cannot be made as habitant, which means the conditions there are not suitable for any animal to live. So, only 30% of the part of the earth is land, and even in this 30% there is good amount of land which is not habitable. For example, Arctic region or Antarctica region where there is only ice. We will not able you will not be able to live there as there is no food, no farm, no water to drink. So living there is very difficult. Similarly, desert, there is no water, there is no such much heat, we cannot survive there. So good amount of land is full of dense forest, ice, desert and cannot be habituated. Uneven topography, steps, slopes of mountain, low-lying areas susceptible to water loading are less populated. Topography means surface of earth. On other hand, plain areas and the areas near river are very good for living. These areas are very fertile and it's easy to grow food. And when food can be grown, it's easy for anyone to live there and sustain. Hence, these are densely populated. Densely populated means many people live there. It's a fact that Earth's 30% of the area is land, and on 30% of the land, 90% of the world's population live. So, we'll move on to the next topic, that is land use. How we use land? Land is used for different purposes like agriculture, forestry, that is jungle maintenance, mining, that is human uses metal in everyday life in huge amount. These metals are obtained from below the earth. The process of removing minerals and ores to make these metals is called mining. We use it for building house, road, industries, etc. Now the question arises, there is a land. How to decide which land is good for what purpose, or how do we decide this land is good for which purpose? To answer this question, we need to check few factors like type of soil, climate, minerals and availability of water. Human factors like population and technology are also important for land use pattern. Next topic is private and community land. Land can be classified on the basis of ownership of land. There are few lands which are private land. Private land is the land owned by an individual. For example, your house which is built on the land owned by you, so that will be private land of yours. Other land is community land. Such lands are owned by whole society. For example, lands, parks, gardens, etc. Community lands are made so that whole community can use the land. For example, collection of fodder, fruits, etc. Community lands are common property of all. The reference pictures are given in the slide. Depletion of land. Depletion means when there is continuous and excessive use of anything, it starts getting lesser, means it gets depleted. People and their demands are ever growing, but the availability of land is limited. With time, the world's population is growing. Their demands are growing. They want to own more than one house. Roads are getting constructed. New products are coming. For those products, new industries are being set up. All the land is getting used up, but the land is limited. So people are encroaching. Encroaching means forcefully take control of land and use as per their choice. If there is a common land in urban land, it is used for commercial purpose like shopping complex, markets, housing complexes. If the common land is in rural area, it will be used for agriculture. So, in this way, common land is not able to fulfill wish of people. Many people have a thinking like, if there was nothing on the land and if we are using it to build apartments or any industry, what's the problem? It's better to be used for something rather than keeping it as it is. But this empty land is very crucial to balance of the nature. These empty lands are very important because when they are left as it is, after some point of time, plants and trees will grow up on that land. Animals will come there to live, and these green trees will help environment to bring pollution down and also help in maintain the rainfall. There are plenty of ways trees help protect our environment, be it protecting soil fertility, reduce carbon dioxide, replenish underground water level, etc. Since land use is increasing, what are its consequences? Land degradation means the quality of land gets depleted. Landslides happen, soil erosion take place, desertification happens. So it's very important now to reduce the excessive use of land. Now let's talk about land conservation. Growing population and their increasing demands are leading to increase the land use, with ultimately leading to destruction of forest cover and arable land. Arable land means land where we can do farming. Due to excessive population, we are using the land for construction of house, roads and other infrastructure, making farming landless. So there is an urgent need of land conservation now. There are many ways of conserving land. One of them is afforestation. Afforestation means growing more and more trees to increase the forest. Next option can be land reclamations. It means those lands where the plants are and trees were cleared from other for other use, claim that land to make it a forest land again. One more step can be regulated use of pesticides and insecticides in farming. These pesticides create adverse effect on land when excessively used, so the use of the pesticides and chemicals in the fertilizers should be regulated so that the quality of the land is maintained. One more cause is overgrazing. Overgrazing means when cattle or animals eat away all the grass on the land. It makes the soil loose. Grasses keeps the soil together and the fertility and quality of the soil is maintained. But when the cattle or animals overgraze or eat away everything, the topsoil of the land becomes loose and it gets washed away by wind or water or rain, causing land damage. Next is landslide. Landslide means sliding of land. If we look at the mountain region, when there is heavy rainfall or any earthquake happens, there are changes that come that some part of the land or the mountain moves from its place. It also carries huge rocks, stones and debris, which is very destructive. Landslide can be defined as mass movement of the rocks, debris and earth down the slope. Main reason are earthquake, heavy rainfall and volcanic eruptions. Sometimes it may block the way of river, causing it to change its way through the people's habitat, and it might be destructive. Hilly terrains have common experience of landslides when there is heavy spell of rains. Next is how can we take precaution? Hazard mapping. Hazard mapping means locating the site where landslides may occur due to heavy rainfall or during any disaster. So precautions would be locating such sites and entry should be prohibited. Also, that site should be prohibited to use it as housing settlements or travel to. Next option would be creating a retaining wall. Retaining walls are created to support the rock till some extent, help stopping landslides. The images are given in the slide. Next is increase of vegetation in hilly terrains. If more and more trees are planted in hilly region, they will hold up the land and soil together and there will be lesser chance of landslide. One more thing can be drained control work. We need to monitor the drainage path. Whenever there is rainfall, we should be able to locate and make sure the water is not blocked anywhere or it's not creating a situation where the soil and rock erosion happens. So this can reduce the chances of landslide. The next topic is soil. Grainy substance on the top of the earth is called soil. Landforms determines the type of soil. For example, the soil on the coastal region like Konkan will be different than that of hilly region of Himalayas. How soil is formed? So, these rocks undergoes many weather changes like extreme heat, extreme cold, heavy rainfall. All these weather pressures causes rock to break into small pieces. Over a very long period of time, like a million years ago. So, in this long period of time, many organisms take birth and die away. So, with the small particles of the rock, the organic matter also get mixed up, and over a very long period of time, it ultimately turns into soil. This whole process is called weathering. Weathering can be defined as the breaking and decaying of rocks. This happens due to the change in the temperature and climate, also due to human and other animal activities. Soil is made up of organic matter, weathered rocks and minerals. This happens through the process of weathering. When there is perfect ratio of mineral and organic matter in the soil, that soil becomes fertile soil. Let's learn about the factors of soil formation. What are the factors that determines what kind of soil will be formed? First, in parent rock, the characteristics of parent rock will determine the color of the soil, the texture of the soil, and what all minerals it will contain. Second is climate. Climate determines the rate of weathering. This will ultimately define the rate of soil formation. Third is organic matter. It affects the rate of humus formation. The amount of organic matter defines the humus formation. Other than that, Earth's topography will determine the accumulation of soil. For example, there will be less soil on hilly areas and more on the plain areas. Next factor is time. Time will determine the thickness of profile from how long the soil is getting is deposited. So this way time determines the thickness of the profile. In India, soil can be alluvial, black, red, desertic and mountain soil. Next topic is degradation of soil. How the soil is degraded? Topsoil of the earth is the most important part of the soil. Degradation of topsoil will degrade the soil. This topsoil can be degraded if it gets washed away with rain or wind, or excessive use of fertilizer or pesticide will degrade the soil. Let us see how the soil is degraded. Deforestation means cutting and felling of trees. If the trees are removed, the soil becomes loose and it gets washed away, and in this way soil is degraded. Other than that, overgrazing, which removes the vegetation and makes soil loose and degrade it. Overuse of fertilizer, pesticides depletes the quality. Heavy rainfall and floods washes away the topsoil and causes degradation of soil. Please refer the images in the slide. Next topic is soil conservation. How to conserve the soil? There are different ways of conservation. First is mulching. Mulching is a way of conserving the bare grounds between the plants with the straw. Dry stalks of cereal plants. In this way, the moisture of the soil is retained. Rock dam. Rock dam means stopping the flow of water by piling up the rocks. For example, if there is rainfall and the water is flowing through the farm, so if we pile up the rocks and stop the flow of water, it will not be able to erode the topsoil. In this way, the quality of land will be retained. Intercropping. It means growing more than one plant at the same time. You can see the image. This will prevent erosion of soil from rainwash. Even if one crop is ready to be harvested, the other crops stay there on its hold the soil, and hence it conserves the land quality. Terrace farming. Terrace farming means cutting the hilly terrains in the form of broad steps or terrace and using them for farming. They reduce surface runoff and soil erosion earlier in rainfall. Water use of directly wash away the mountain soil, but due to terrace farming, the water does not flow directly down. It gets retained in the farms and retains the topsoil of the mountain. Fifth is counter barriers. Counter means boundary, so counter barriers means to cover the boundary. Farms boundaries are covered with barriers like stone, grass, and soil to make a barrier for rainwash. There are trenches also made in the form of barriers to collect the water. Shelter belts. Shelter belts means to plant row of trees to check the wind movement to protect soil cover. So they are planted along with the boundaries so that they can stop the wind and wind erosion. You can refer the images so that you get an idea of step farming, shelter belts, counter barriers. Now the counter plowing. Counter plowing means to plow the farmers use farms which are near the hill slopes, which will form as a barrier for rainwater, and it will stop the water in the trench and the soil erosion will be avoided. So students, we will stop this first session here. I hope you all have understood all the topics covered in this session. Further topics we'll learn in session 2. Do read the textbook and underline hard words. Read the slides and refer the images for better understanding. I hope you all have understood all the topics that are covered in this first session. So, see you all in the second session. Till then, bye and take care.